Hello, hello to all my internet friends. Hi, everybody. Who's tuned in? My mom's here. Hi, Mom. So, this is probably a very unusual sight. I am holding a flute. I thought I would change it up a little bit, play a little bit of flute for you guys. Always trying to keep it fresh. Speaking of keeping it fresh, I changed the color of my hair. I mean, I didn't do it. I have an amazing hairdresser, and her name is Nina, and she did it. Do we have any friends on YouTube tuned in? This is a slightly different time. I do try to do hangouts with all of you on Sunday, but last Sunday I was traveling. I was in the sky. So I'm very glad that we could reschedule to today. Hello, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Good. I'm glad this is live. It's great to hear from all of you. And I'm about to turn Instagram on. Hi, Lobo. Hello from Mexico City. So cool. All right, so I'm turning Instagram on. Super excited to hang out with all of you on this Thursday night. Feeling really fresh with lighter hair. This, I think you would call a teal color. I did a really short live stream last night. Hi, David from Needham. And I just wanted to show you guys the new color and then tell you that we were going to do the long form stream tonight. And here we are, because it actually took a really long time in the hair salon yesterday. Oh, good. We have some friends back on YouTube. Somebody's saying, I'm back because of your hair. It's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Wow. What an honor. You're back because of my hair. My hair. Thanks you, friends. Hi, Instagram. What's up? So this is, I thought I'd pull out my flute a little bit. And today in this live stream, I wanted to play songs that are about colors. I thought that could be a cool inspiration. So if you have any requests of songs that are color songs, blue, green, there's a little bit of white in here, or any other song colors, then let me know. Also, if you have another song request that's not a color, you can, of course, let me know as well. Oh, so great to hear from all of you. Tell me where you're tuned in from. I would love to know. Carlos, hello from Mexico. Wow. Daniel, careful, that's not a sax. That's very true. What about Instagram? Japan. Atsuya, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Do you guys know this song? Hi from Burbank, California. Yes, somebody got it. Khalidi said Rainbow Connection. So I thought that would be a nice song to kick off the colors. Ooh, we have some great song suggestions for colors. Michael is saying green sleeves. Nice. Other Michael is saying blue and green. Facebook, did you know that 2 Michaels are live streaming right now? And I know both of you. What about you guys? Any Instagram? Yes, somebody's singing the words to me on Instagram of someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. That feels so appropriate. I am totally about the lovers. I'm totally about the dreamers. Hi, Pasha Rider, who's tuned in from Twitch. Love it. I know him very well. Greetings from Germany. Felix, hello. Somebody's tuned in from Houston, Texas. I love it, love it, love it. So, friends, I wanted to fill you in on all the stuff happening this past week. And I want to get to your questions. So if you have questions, keep commenting, put a little heart, put a little wave sign, and I'll kind of be in and out musicking and then get into your questions. A week goes by so fast, guys. Wow. And thank you for being so flexible with changing live stream times. I think it's kind of working out to do it at nighttime, but I will try to stick to Sundays at night because that is a good time. But in any case, even though it's nighttime, I have my coffee with me. I don't know if that's a good thing at 7 o'clock, but it's happening. Okay. Wow. Barney is from Los Angeles, California. Fantastic. Hi, Jose. Oh my God, there's so many of you tuned in. Yay. Thank you so much, guys. This is such a great hangout. Okay, so let's see. Since the last time I saw you guys online, I went to one of my best friend's wedding, one of my best friends from college, and she also happens to be a co-writer for some of my past songs. There's a song of mine called Ready, Set, Stay that we wrote on ukulele together, and she is a really brilliant kids music artist, and I've co-written for her album. You can check out her music under the name Emily Arrow, and she got married to an amazing guy named Alex. Love them both so much. So my boyfriend and I traveled to Marfa, Texas. Has anybody been to Marfa? Please send a heart if you've been to Marfa. It really is the middle of nowhere. I've never played a gig in Marfa. There's one grocery market. Oh, someone's been to Marfa. Hi, Henry. Oh, Maya's tuned in from New York City. Awesome. I'm in New York too. So we went to Marfa, Texas, and we had to do a lot. It was a lot of travel. It was from New York to Dallas, Dallas to Midland, Texas, and then we drove 3.5 hours to get to Marfa. It's also a 3.5 hour drive from El Paso. It is a really, really interesting place. It's very desolate. There's some really very industrial-looking buildings, a lot of old trucks, and they had just the most incredible bohemian desert wedding. 120 friends gathered. It was glorious, and it was my first time being a bridesmaid. I was crying. I love weddings so much. They make me so happy just to celebrate love. Is that level good for you guys, by the way? Is the saxophone coming through okay? I love weddings so much that I set my automatic email inbox message to say, I'm celebrating love over the weekend, so I won't be able to get back to your messages until next week. And it felt really good to say, celebrating love. Have you guys celebrated love this week? Okay, good. It's sounding great. Awesome. Thank you, Lit Train. She's mentioning that my nails also match my hair. I got my nails done for their wedding. And I'm just celebrating the blue and the greens and the whites. Sandy, missing you at Casey and Frederick, Maryland. Oh, wow. I'm missing you as well. Good times. I'm remembering our time in Frederick. We'll have to come back soon. I'll have to tell my agent. So the wedding happened. It was so beautiful. They lucked out and there was no rain that night. And we danced the night away and then spent a few extra days in Marfa. What else has happened since last week? Guys, we reached over 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube. I'm going to do a celebratory dance. I think I have to make my own music for the celebratory dance, unless you can sing it to me. What would be the celebration song? I feel good. Oh, that's the wrong key. I feel good. You knew that I would now. I feel good. Yeah, you know that I would now. So good. So good. It's hard to go back and forth between vocals and sax. I keep missing the beat. I got a you on YouTube with over 10,000 subscribers. Hooray! By the way, speaking of James Brown, I uploaded a pop-up today. This is number 70, and it features one of my all-time saxophone heroes, none other than the great Maceo Parker. He literally is the king of funk. If you do not know his saxophone playing, you need to Google him, because this guy can literally play the blues pentatonic scale and put so much rhythm in and make it so funky that you're just like, what the hell? This is like blowing my mind. So I actually got a chance to play with him, which just like, I was freaking out. I was like, Maceo Parker is next to me. And that's today's pop-up. We played together at the Berks Jazz Festival, and he literally was playing side stage. He'd play like 3 notes, and they'd be so funky. He'd be like, I can't even make it that funky. You have to check it out. So that's today's pop-up. I'm back to posting pop-ups. I'm sorry I've been a little inconsistent with it lately. Travels have I got to figure out a better way to schedule my weekly posts. If you guys have any social media tools that you like to use that are helpful, then let me know, because a week goes by so fast. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's like, oh. But anyways, it's up there. Hi, Diego. Oh, I have not gotten here. I totally saw your email, and I owe you an answer back, and I'm really excited to check that cover out. By the way, a bunch of you have been sending me covers, particularly of my song Feels Like Home. I posted one on Instagram, and somebody else sent me another one, and I'm going to check out Emily's version as well. Diego's commenting about it, and it's so beautiful, guys. Oh my God, these covers of Fish and Chips and Feels Like Home. You are all so talented, and it's just freaking cool to see that my music is getting out there to you. And for those of you who play and perform, that you want to take the time to learn it, like, literally blows my mind. Thank you so much. Simon is saying Maceo Parker is king. He is king. So for my Skype students, because I teach a bunch of Skype lessons, one of my students who's incredibly talented is working on The Chicken, which is a freaking awesome song, and I'm having him transcribe Maceo's solo. And it is just amazing what that guy can do on a blues scale, on a pentatonic scale. He sounds like a drummer. Live to love to live. Nothing greater than hearing your lyrics being sung by millions. That is so true. Oh my God. When it gets to the point that there's millions singing it, I think I'm gonna bawl. I'm gonna be crying, because I'm already crying when I hear your beautiful covers. Ooh, Diego. Ooh, Mamma Mia. Is that the... Oh, I've been broken hearted through since the day we started. My, how can I resist? Yeah, Mamma Mia. Here we go again. My friend Diego is saying that he just saw Mamma Mia in the theater. Was it good? That's such a great request. I love it. Hi, Gerald. Great to hear from you. Hello, Harold. I would love... Oh, come to KC. Yes, that would be so, so cool. So one of the reasons why I'm just so excited to announce that we reached over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube is because this is something that felt really far away. Even just last year, 10,000 felt like a really big number, and I'm all about celebrating the small successes, and they're the building blocks into getting the big successes. And sometimes I think we forget how important it is to just take the small steps and be like, hey, wow, that went cool. Oh my gosh, we're celebrating that. And I know 10,000 might not seem like a big number, and I certainly hope in the future we're going to keep adding zeros and zeros and zeros. But I remember a year ago, I wasn't that active on YouTube, and I've always been playing a lot of live shows, but I hadn't gotten very into social media. But I really wanted to find a way to connect with all of you on a much more regular basis, and to get to hear from all of you. And make sure that we could all stay engaged. And then when I was out in live shows, I wanted to meet all of you. And so a year later, I'm really proud to say that all of us have made that happen. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, go subscribe. There's a lot of really cool videos that are dropping. Every week I have a new pop-up, and the pop-up web series was actually created with the intention of getting to reach more outside audiences, people who weren't necessarily jazz fans, because I really feel like my music is a mix of jazz and pop and everything. You know, there's a lot of influences, electronic music, and playing jazz has always been this really fun thing for me. And I think there's a lot of non-jazz people who think that it's a much more serious art form, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this if you guys want to weigh in. So I thought, what is something I could create online that could help get a lot of new eyes in celebrating the joy and spontaneity and awesomeness of improvisation and of jazz? And that's when I got my very first idea of doing the pop-ups. I thought, what would happen if I took my saxophone to an unusual place, anywhere that's not the stage? What happens if I sit on top of my car and play? And then I had the hopes that people would be scrolling through social media, as they do on their phones, and that they would stop and be like, who is this girl, and why is she in a car, and why is there a saxophone? And that they would take the moment to check it out and hopefully be like, this is really fun. I feel like the thing about the pop-ups is, at the end of the day, if people are like, this is fun, then that's exactly what I was hoping to get across. So it's been really, really encouraging to hear so many people say, we enjoy it, they're entertaining, they're fun. It's very short, they're 1-minute clips, and I've been able to take you around the globe. I remember I did one in a gondola in Italy, and I remember having people comment saying I felt like I was there with you in Italy, and I am over the moon that we have reached over 10,000 on YouTube, because to have that interaction is what felt like so far away just last year. I felt like, oh, you know, I feel like I get this interaction with everyone at live shows, but I didn't really feel it as much online, and I didn't know how to begin to start building an audience online. And so I would say, as my advice to any of you out there who want to create a web series and have something you want to share to the world, that just start with baby steps and start with an idea, hopefully a unique idea that is a little bit out of the box from what everyone else is doing. I think that I went through a lot of ideas in my mind I knew I wanted to create a lot of videos for all you, but I thought, you know, if I'm just in the recording studio playing, it's not really all that different. You know, you've already seen a lot of content with me like that. So it's been this game of really experimenting and trying things new. And then the pop-ups they've expanded to having special guests. One of my favorites is walking across Times Square on a red light. We're walking the streets. It's me and this amazing saxophonist, Leo P., and we're doing this choreography. And by the time we got to the end of the street, there was this giant crowd that had just built up, and they kind of circled around us, and we just did this awesome jam. There was also a really random person dressed up in a Pikachu costume. See if you can find the Pikachu person. It's really funny. I remember I didn't see that like the first 5 times I watched it, and I think a friend pointed it out to me. They were like, why is there's somebody in a Pikachu costume, and then there's like a random guy who's walking his tiny dog, and he sees us performing, and he like freaks out, and he like grabs his dog, and then he runs away. Oh my God. So between like Pikachu and the dog, it was really funny. Hi, Fortnite legend Tyler. Oh, thank you so much. I see you too. And wow, that's exciting to see that you are online. So 10,000, thank you guys so much. And thank you for continuing to share the content to your friends and helping me expand my goal, and my dream is to have a lot of friends online in these live streams and watching content. I think, I hope it brings a smile to your face. If it does, then I'm a happy, happy girl. So what other songs can we do? Let's see. So there's more colors. There's more color songs. How about this one? Harold got it. This is A Little Blue Moon. A Little Blue Moon for you. I'm very impressed that Harold, that you got that, because there's a lot of improv in there. And I added a little bit of blues as well. Ooh, there's so many good song requests coming in. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. That's from Michael. A yellow submarine. That's a great color song. I love it. I love it. So I also wanted to tell you another fun story about my pop-up series in case you guys are interested. So when I was brainstorming what out-of-the-box ideas I could come up with for settings, believe it or not, literally like one of the first ideas I had was to play the saxophone while on top of a motorcycle, and a moving motorcycle. And I remember the first time that I told this idea to my team, and they were just like, Grace, what? They're just like, that sounds so dangerous. And I'm like, that does sound dangerous, but I think we should do it. I really think we should do it. And I was like, I have a friend. This was back when I was living in Los Angeles. I was like, I have a friend who would totally drive the motorcycle. And then came the craziest part of asking him. I mean, if you can just imagine my team gawking at me, being like, that is so dangerous. Okay, you're crazy. And then I hit up my friend Pearson, and I was like, hey, so I had this idea, and I was wondering if we could use your motorcycle and if you could drive it. And he was like, I remember when he wrote back, he was like, that sounds so cool. Let's do it. And then he was like, wait, how are we going to do it? So you guys could actually look on YouTube. That one came out a while ago. It was actually the first one we ever filmed. That was years ago. We filmed it on Christmas Day. It was a whole thing to actually create the motorcycle pop-up. We had to get strapped in. I actually rode backwards, and we were in the Santa Monica Mountains, and my whole family helped out. My sister and mom were on lookout in a separate car to make sure that no traffic was coming our way. So they were basically like blocking off. It was not necessarily legal. Anyways, you didn't hear me say that. But it was Christmas Day, so we really didn't have much traffic at all. And then my videographer was like in a car as well and shooting out the window, and it was just so crazy. And I totally understand why dogs love to stick their heads out of the window. Because to be perfectly honest, it is just the most amazing thrill to ride on a motorcycle and get to play the saxophone at the same time. So what we did is as we were riding down the hill, I was playing the Bach cello suites because I thought that would be a beautiful song to go with all the mountains and the scenery. And then we would do a new take, and Pearson would just gun it up the hill. And my hair is like flying everywhere. And I just like, it was so exhilarating. And it was so scary because I was literally only strapped in by this strap on our waist. So that's a fun story about pop-ups that I don't think I've ever told before. I also don't necessarily recommend that you all go out on motorcycles right now and do it. Or if you do, be really, really careful. But I will say it was a freaking thrill. And do any of you drive motorcycles or ride? You don't say drive motorcycles. Do any of you ride motorcycles? It's so much fun. I didn't drive, but I love riding on them. So if you have a motorcycle, please take me. Let's go. guys know this one? A little Earth, Wind, and Fire. Someone is mentioning that, John. Dan says, I am a biker. Ooh. Somebody is saying you should try playing sax while parachuting. Oh my God, don't even get the idea in my head. I have not been skydiving yet. I think my mom is watching this live stream. And I kind of want to. I was with an amazing bass player who's done a lot of playing in the past with Prince, and she's a phenomenal bass player and singer, and she's known to do splits on stage. Her name's Nick West, and we were having dinner. This was like a little while ago, and she's a fan of the pop-up series of mine, and she was like, have you ever thought about skydiving? And she was like, I totally would do that with a bass, just like skydiving with a bass, because I think she was freshly from her first experience skydiving. But she was like, honestly, it goes by so fast that she's like, I don't think it'd be safe to have an instrument with you. So there we go. I probably won't be trying skydiving with the saxophone, but who knows, maybe without it. So that is some fun pop-up stories for all of you guys. The other things I've been checking out this week have been some cool podcasts. I'm a big fan of Tim Ferriss. He has a wonderful podcast, and he's also the author of The 4-Hour Workweek and The 4-Hour Body. And I just think he's such a brilliant, he is a brilliant messenger of incredible information and life hacks and stuff like that. And he basically, his thing is interviewing high performers in every field, scientists and people in the tech world and music and acting and everything you can imagine, and then kind of taking tips and career advice and life advice from these people and sharing it with his audience. He also talks about new movies and all this stuff. So I really enjoy listening to his podcast. Recently, when I was in Texas, I was listening to his latest podcast, which was with Kevin Rose, who's very affiliated with the internet world. And I thought there was a really interesting piece of it that I wanted to share with you guys. Kevin talks about this concept where he takes one item in his home, and he donates it, one item per day. And he kind of, I hope I'm phrasing this right, I think he said that he kind of goes about it by looking at items that he hasn't touched in a year, or things that, they're just kind of, they're laying around, but, we all kind of create more clutter, and it's really easy to gather stuff. And so he does this process of every day finding something and living more of a minimalistic life. They talk about Marie Kondo. She wrote this whole book about organizing your clothes, getting rid of your clothes, and really picking the clothes that you want to keep based upon the amount of joy that it gives you, sparking joy. I actually have not read Marie Kondo's book yet, but I've listened to some of her. I've listened to Tim talk about some of her work, so I'm really looking forward to checking out her book. But I did want to share that thought. I don't know how you guys deal with organizing and reorganizing. It's something I've been thinking a lot about this week as I'm trying to read books about organization and time management, and thinking about the different aspects of putting the creative mind on and then putting more of the business mind on. So that was super, very enlightening. Thank you, Bob. Bob is commenting and saying, thanks for the inspiration to practice. Your videos are always fun and your playing is dope. And he put like 8 O's. Thank you, Bob. So for those of you who don't know, I think Bob is referring to one of my new videos called Saxophone Practice 101, and I recorded it while moving. My boyfriend recorded it with me. We were on the streets of San Francisco. We were on Lombard Street. Have you guys been? And we were going uphill. So not only was it a really fun way to get some fingers moving and the lungs moving, but it was also a good workout for the legs. Mal is saying, thanks for the recommendation. Tim Ferriss, yeah, definitely check him out. I just feel like Tim is amazing at life. So I had some really great Q&A coming from all of you guys this past week. this week I wanted to just highlight the questions coming from my YouTubers. I posted a little thing on the YouTube community board and wanted to pull questions from specifically that board since we are celebrating over 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I know a lot of you are tuned in right now on YouTube. So Diego, you mentioned the Vinoba. And here she is. This is the Vinoba Hearts, if you know this instrument. Would love to see all of your hearts. This is a Yamaha instrument, and it's kind of a hybrid between the saxophone and the clarinet. It's kind of an introductory woodwind for those of you who want to get into saxophone, and they call it a casual woodwind instrument. I actually have spent a lot of time with the Vinoba, and I recorded a Yamaha, official Yamaha promo video with the Vinoba that I think is coming out very soon. We recorded it last winter, and a bunch of the Yamaha family from Japan came as well. These things are so popular. Apparently, they are selling like hotcakes, and they're really fun. Let's see if you can hear it. Hold on, that doesn't sound right. Hold on, wait. Oh, that is right. So Nam, thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely check out that podcast and on YouTube. That's great. I'm all about checking out these different minimalistic pieces of advice. Okay, so Diego was asking about the Vinoba on YouTube, and he said, my friend bought a Vinoba and can't figure out how to do accidentals. Can you show us? So I've kind of figured out how to do a bit of the accidentals, which for those of you who don't know what that means, that's like flats and sharps, the in-between notes. So what I like to do is literally like hold my finger in between, and you'll kind of get a slide. Like, here we go. So there we go. Right there, I'm going up the chromatic scale. So it's a little bit tricky. I think they purposely did not put accidentals on the Vinoba casual woodwind just because they wanted to keep it a very clean, easy recorder-like open hole thing. Wow, that was a sentence. Can anyone repeat that? I don't think I can repeat that. But what I would suggest for any of you that have the Vinoba or are going to order it, because it's a lot of fun, you can literally just put it in your backpack, is just play around with it, and you can play with half covering a hole. It's kind of like a clarinet in that way. There's really no right way to do it, and it does bring me, that question, Diego, does make me think about learning instruments in general. I know a lot of you have questions about what my setup is. By the way, my alto is a Custom Z Yamaha bronze lacquer, and I'm a Van Doren endorsee, so that's all Van Doren mouthpiece, and this is a Van Doren mouthpiece as well for soprano. I will say that it's never one setup that works for everyone. Just because I have, a custom Z saxophone doesn't mean it's the best fit for you. But it is a great thing to research what other people are playing, especially people that you admire and you like the sound of. I always like my horns to be a lot darker, so I tend to get setups on the mouthpiece that make a darker sound. I like to get reeds that have a darker sound. But I'd say from there, it's really important to just be curious and literally be like, what does this button do? What does it do? Like, for example, that sound, which kind of sounds like a is literally just me being like, I think I'm going to just press these buttons. Cool. That makes a very interesting tribal sound. And for sure, you wouldn't be able to find that sound on any type of manual. I'm 99% sure that that the Vinoba manual does not tell you how to make this happen. But in any case, it's part of the really fun thing about playing an instrument and getting to see all of the things that it can do. I remember my friend Leo saying that he actually plays the Vinoba in his Too Many Zoos set, and he just like makes strange noises out of it. Actually, I don't even know how he makes some of those noises. So that's definitely the fun with playing any instrument, just kind of being like, what does this do? And if you can make a strange sound on it, great. Try to figure out a way to then celebrate that sound into your improvisation. So for those of you who have never seen a Vinoba, there it is. Maybe I'll play a little bit more for you. Mal is saying, I've never heard of Vinoba before, to my knowledge. It is a nice instrument. I brought my, oh my gosh, Fortnite Legend Tyler on YouTube is saying, I brought my Vinoba to school today. That's awesome. I feel like this is a perfect time to bring out the Vinoba then. Yes, that's the beautiful thing about these instruments. You actually can take them to school with you. How about that? Or to work with you. And it's actually pretty amazing. You can get a good amount of high end on the Vinobas as well. It's definitely more of a ducky sound. And for any saxophonists out there, I highly recommend getting your hands on more of a toy woodwind or a casual woodwind to actually just see what comes out when you don't have access to all of the notes. This is a lot of pentatonic scale stuff, and it's great in the way that it'll open your mind up to when you're limited with the amount of notes, you end up coming up with a lot of new ideas. So definitely try it out. Yes, a couple days ago, I was in a great recording session, and I brought my sax, and we were going to track something with my saxophone, but then as we were working on the track, it honestly didn't really sound like a saxophone song. And my friend looked over at me, and he said, there's a xylophone over there. Do you want to try to track something on xylophone? And it completely reminded me that music is music no matter what, right? So as long as you know the notes, and if you have melodies in your head, sometimes it's just going to sound better on a different instrument. You know, some days I just want to pull out the kalimba or some percussion sounds, and it's a great way to get new inspiration when you're feeling stuck. So there you go. Go get your hands on a Vinoba, everybody. I also have another idea for improvisation. I had a question this week from somebody saying, what ideas do you think about when improvising? And this goes perfectly into what I was just speaking about, which was, trying out something new, being curious, trying out some different notes, seeing what happens. The other thing I would say to really open your mind up with improvisation is literally take yourself outside and sit down on a chair and start improvising with the birds. I know it sounds hippie, but try it, because I've actually spent a lot of time improvising with the sounds of nature. I remember when I was in middle school, I went to a music camp in Maine, and my private instructor literally said, we are going to spend the next 10 minutes just improvising with whatever sounds you hear. And I was like, what? But believe it or not, it really, really opened up my mind just to sit there, and it's almost like a meditative state. You know, if you're in a city and you hear a lot of trains and you hear a lot of horns, embody that in your improvisation. If you can take your instrument outside, or if you're going camping with friends, try to literally improvise with the sounds around you. It's a wonderful exercise, and anybody can do it. Even if you don't play a saxophone, you could do it with your voice. You could do it simply like tapping the desk, and it's a great way to just get music flowing. And it's a really fun thing to do with others. It's very fun. Gerald, I recently received a kalimba as a birthday present. That's what Gerald's saying. Oh, that's awesome. I have a kalimba back there. And Marcus Miller actually played that kalimba. Harold, advice for someone teaching improv to kids, totally new to it. Actually, I think the thing that I just said would be a great starting point for you teaching kids. Kids are amazing, especially really little kids, at just letting their creativity and their imagination run wild. And it's one of the reasons that I really love hanging out with little kids, and it brings me back to my roots as a little kid. And believe me, my imagination ran completely wild. My parents told me that they would just leave me in a room and I wouldn't play with my dolls. I don't know if I had that many dolls. I definitely had a Pocahontas doll that I loved, and then I cut off all her hair. But they'd leave me in the room, and an hour later, I'd have a song, I'd have a dance, I'd have a story. So I was never out of creative ideas. And so kids are fantastic at this. I would sit down with the kids and say, all right, we're going to improvise with all the sounds around us. Let's make up a song about X, Y, and Z, and just have them rattle off some phrases. If they want to write a song about pancakes, say, what are some thoughts you think about when we say pancakes, and then write a chorus together or just start improvising. You are so welcome, Harold. I hope you guys do that together. If you do, definitely let me know how that went. So I thought of another song that has to do with the color blue, celebrating some different colored hair. See if you guys know this one. Does anyone know that one? Yes! Channing on Instagram said, blue skies. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies. Or maybe I should say, nothing but blue hair. Do I see bluebirds sing in a song, nothing but blue skies all day long. There's also a great jazz standard by Thelonious Monk that's based upon the chords of Blue Skies. Super kudos points to anyone who can name it right now. It is a Thelonious Monk song. That is the clue I'm going to give you. Ready, go. Somebody said Blue Hawaii. Nope, that's not the song I'm thinking about. If that's another blue song, then I don't know it. I got to learn it. Does anyone know? Blue Monk, not quite. Somebody say blue. Okay, it's called In Walked Bud. My mom just got it. Irene Chang got it. In Walked Bud. If you don't know that song, definitely look it up. It's a great Thelonious Monk song, one that I learned early on in my saxophone career, and then you solo over the chords on Blue Skies. Somebody on Twitch is saying, I made a trap beat. Are you down to freestyle a bit over it? Could be dope. That could be dope. Never know. That's awesome. So that's something I've been thinking about with that great question of what ideas do you think about when improvising. The other thing that I wanted to mention about improvising is taking just a few elements. Say you're a beginner on the saxophone or you're a beginner on piano, and maybe all you know is the blues scale. Maybe you know the blues scale and you have a lot of ideas of rhythm. Okay, so you take those two elements and you literally just jam out on, maybe you just take one rhythm, like take that rhythm, right? Doot 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 doot. Hey, doot 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 doot. That's kind of a New Orleans rhythm. And then I would say take the blues scale and integrate the blues scale in that rhythm. So here is a blues scale right now. So here we go. So there you go. It's kind of like that's just one rhythm with the blues scale. And this is something I called restrictive practicing. And it's a great tool because after you've practiced that one rhythm for 10 minutes, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm sick of this rhythm. But also, there's infinite possibilities because I'm letting you use any notes that you want. And then after you do that for 10 minutes, then you take all of the restrictions away and you go, okay, now play anything. And you're going to have all of these fresh ideas. I had a saxophone teacher that once told me I could only improvise using my left hand. And that was really interesting. Do that for 10 minutes and you're going to come up with so many different improvisation ideas. And again, you can, right now I'm improvising with only my left hand on the saxophone, which is just the notes B flat to E flat concert. And I'm actually, just to prove to myself that I'm not cheating, I'm actually holding my right hand up in the sky and conducting myself. And the really cool thing about that is you can also integrate using octave jumps as well. So and really, in the beginning, it's going to be super hard just because you're like, what the hell? I don't know how to use just my left hand. But then it becomes this really fun, challenging thing. So again, that's a little taste of restrictive practicing. You do that for 5 minutes of just practicing with one hand, or maybe if you're playing an instrument with frets, maybe you limit yourself to just 5 frets or 2 frets. And then when you add your other hand in, it's like, oh my God, boom! You just like have so many new ideas. Somebody on YouTube is asking, is that your practice routine to improvise every day? I always like to integrate improvisation into my practice routine. To be perfectly honest, it's because it's so much fun. And I think that after you've had a grueling practice routine of learning scales and doing technique, some of that's not necessarily fun. I think it's really important to reward yourself at the end and integrate all of those things in a fun way. So I always like to put the headphones on and jam out with whoever. I just like put YouTube on. Maybe I'll jam out to Maceo Parker. Maybe I'll be jamming with Skrillex. Maybe I'll be jamming with Charlie Parker. And it becomes a great way to end a practice session so that the next day you want to pick your instrument up. The other thing I've been really playing around with lately is making my own music with different loops and sitting down and putting different chords together and sound samples on Logic and creating different lines on saxophone. I also really like to stack the different saxophones, and I can do that when I'm recording on Logic or on Pro Tools. So it's a very fun way to work on recording, songwriting, and improvisation together. The other analogy I would use for the improvisation thing, for those of you who aren't musicians and are music lovers, which believe me, that in itself, cheers, that is a huge thing. We're so grateful for you. The analogy I would give for you is thinking about cooking. If you want to have this same experience as me playing with just my left hand on the saxophone, I'd say go to the kitchen right after this live stream and pick out 4 ingredients and then try to prepare a dish that you've never made before from 4 ingredients. And really, I would say pick some random ass stuff. Maybe put peanut butter in there, put an egg. I don't know, what else should we put? That's 2. Peanut butter, egg. Anchovies, I don't know. And then literally try to think of a dish that you would create for dinner guests and try to make it as beautiful as possible, try to make it taste as good as possible. Then do it with 3 ingredients, then do it with 2 ingredients, and then maybe just do it with 1 ingredient. And I think the beautiful thing about that is really learning about the simplicity of just a few elements and not overwhelming the taste buds, the palates, not overwhelming the ears when playing music. Sometimes we forget to celebrate the silence when we're improvising, and there's nothing that tires the ears more than hearing non-stop notes, you know. I mean, it's very impressive, but that's certainly not a melody that I'm going to be running home to sing back to you. So I think it's a very similar thing in cooking. I'm right now trying to learn how to do I'm trying to practice my cooking. Some of my dishes have not been successful, but you know, that's the art of improvising in the kitchen. If I follow a recipe, I can do it. But I'm starting to learn from experience that too many ingredients mixed together just confuse your taste buds. There was the other night I tried to put a bunch of veggies in the dish, and I put like soy sauce and garlic and like another sauce and some chili pepper, and it just like, you know, it actually just ends up tasting like nothing, or it just tastes like mush. So that was the last time I did that, and then I realized that it's probably good to just maybe stick to like 3 ingredients or just one sauce. So it's a very similar thing in music. So let me know how that experiment goes. I would love to know, actually take a picture of your food if you are one of our music listeners out there and want to try out this improvisation exercise and you like to cook. If you don't cook, then I'll have to come up with another analogy idea for you to practice this on. I'm going to play you guys a few more songs before signing off. There have been so many fantastic questions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on a Thursday night. So many great song suggestions, so many great questions. I'm sorry I can't get to all of them, but this is a weekly hangout. I try to do them on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock. If for some reason I'm traveling, I'll reschedule it, but I am going to do my next one this Sunday. So definitely tune in there, and you can comment below on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitch if you have other questions that I didn't get to tonight and that I can hopefully get to on Sunday. Instagram, you can comment, DM me, or you can comment in any of my posts. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for all the hearts and for being here. You are the best. Good one. Someone just requested St. Thomas by Sonny Rollins, one of my favorite saxophonists. St. Thomas, great song suggestion. I actually got to perform in front of Sonny Rollins a long while back, and it blew my mind. He is such a quiet man, and he is such a genius. Someone on YouTube is saying, it's 2 a.m. in Germany. I have to say goodnight. Thanks for the hand, Grace. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wow, it's so great to have friends from all around the globe, Europe, Asia. It's really, really very cool. So I wanted to sign off tonight with another color song. Somebody is asking, what do your fans mean to me? What does your fans mean to you? My fans and friends, you guys mean everything to me. I'm so grateful for all of you. I often say this, but I'll say it again. I love what I do. I love creating music. At the end of the day, I have to express myself through music because that's how it's like therapy to me. But getting to share it with all of you is really, the most touching thing for me. And then getting to hear from all of you about what my music and songs mean really blows my mind, that you take the time to be here on these live streams and to download the new albums and be part of my Pledge Music family, and all of your support means the world to me. So I'm very, very grateful. It would not mean the same thing if there was no you to perform for. And thank you for coming out to live shows as well, for those of you who have been out. I know a lot of you by name. So here we go. This is going to be the last song of the night. I'll see you guys Sunday night at 7 o'clock. That's the time for our live stream. Thank you for all of your hearts and for hanging out. I hope you've had a great time. I love hanging out with all of you. And I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. Do 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 do. I thought I'd play and sing you a little Cyndi Lauper. I gotta find the key. Good night, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and see you Sunday. Sending much, much love your way and many blessings to you.